During dental school, people teach us clinical skills, how to do crown preps, how to do class twos, but who teaches us how to communicate with patients? On this episode of Talking Nachos, I'm speaking with my friend, sponsor, amazing dentist human, Dr. Chris Bowman, and he teaches dentists and their teams the secret queso sauce, I'll call it, to getting patients to say yes. Christopher, thanks for being on here with us, and give my audience a little bit of context, a little bit of orientation as to all of the awesome things you do.
Yeah, sure, Paul. Thanks for having me on here, and I'm happy to do this. Thrilled to be here. Glad to be a new sponsor for Nachos.
Glad to
I'll
have
try
you.
to give you the very quick synopsis. I was a psychology major going through college. I realized pretty early on that understanding human behavior was going to be really important in dentistry, where we face a lot of fears and anxieties and avoidance and stuff like that. I didn't really realize how valuable it would be, though, until later when I started learning a lot of clinical skill after graduating dental school, post grad CE courses and learning, higher level stuff. And
So
then I
wait,
got,
Chris, I'm going to interject. Patients didn't care about your crown prep taper after dental school? That must have been
they
demoralizing.
didn't seem to care about my chamfer margins. I thought that they were beautiful, but
Yeah.
it wasn't a big concern. So what I realized pretty quickly was that all that new stuff that I was learning how to do that was more complex, I was having trouble getting patients to agree to do it. I had a really strong desire to help my patients and to want to do the right thing for them and to show them the way towards optimal health, but I wasn't really good at communicating the way to get them to be interested in that. So
Yeah.
I started down this journey, had some really good mentors along the way, and I realized early on that the way we were trained in dental school to think doesn't really work with regard to how we communicate with our patients. So in a nutshell, that's what led me on this journey that I've been on for the past 25 years or so. And it's what led me to develop really a communication system for the entire practice. And I treat communications in a dental practice as if it's a marketing system. And you got to understand my definition of marketing first. Marketing is what anyone does in a business that causes your clients, patients, customers, or even prospective clients, patients, and customers to do more or less business with you.
Love it.
So anything that you do, well, communication is one of those things. It's either good marketing or it's bad marketing. So the way we communicate with our patients is absolutely critical towards not just getting more yeses, but also building the relationships with our patients, helping them become more loyal, leading to what I call the 3 R's is revenue, reviews, and referrals. So that's where this whole thing started. And that's where the Getting Yes Masterclass came from.
I love it, Chris. A couple of things I want to share. You shared such gold there. What do you think, if you could break it down like a fractured root canal treated tooth, if you could break down that problem the way we're trained in dental school? I have a thought on this. Like, you go to dental school, you come out of dental school and you realize like, hey, how I was trained to talk to patients, it's just not working out well here in the real world. What do you think that problem is, like, or that challenge? If someone's a new dentist saying, how was I trained in a way that wasn't going to be productive in the real world? What would you say that is?
Yeah, well, the first thing I would say is that in dental school, the patients never say no. So that's the first thing to understand. But as far as the way we were trained to think, it's pretty simple. We were trained to first diagnose the problem and then really quickly move to, okay, what do you do, doc? What do you do for this? What's the solution? And then the majority of our time is spent learning how to do the solution. So we're learning about the process. And when you hear the phrase educate your patients, we tend to naturally want to educate our patients the way we were educated.
Yeah, that's it.
Which means we're going to say, okay, for that fractured root, you need an implant. We skip over the diagnosis, we skip over the problem development, and then we go right into the treatment recommendation. And usually we begin that with the words you need. And the funny thing is rarely do we ask patients what they want or what's important to them. So how in the world do we know what they need? So
I love that.
Yeah. So what I learned a little
I'll
bit
add
later,
in, Chris, is I just
go
want to
ahead.
interject. My thing is, I think it's very similar. We are trained to talk to patients like they're weird other dentists, not patients. So all of dental school is talk to that patient in your chair like they're another dentist. And that's why I think it's a total misfit in the real world. Because in dental school, you got instructors, you got those, like you said, dental school patients are very special. I wish I could go back and thank mine, because who sits for 16 visits for one denture, right?
Exactly.
But it's not anything like the real world, right, in dental school. And I think that we are trained to use language. We are trained to be unintentionally condescending to patients, unintentionally condescending. And I love that you transform dentists and teams in doing this, in talking to them. I say talk to patients like people and magic will happen. talk to them like real people. And I
Yeah.
know that's why we're kindred spirits on that.
Yeah. And here's the key. One of my mentors has a great quote, and he says, you want to enter the conversation that's going on in their minds.
Yeah.
In other words, the conversation going on in your patient's minds. We need to think the way they think and not the way we think. And when we can start thinking how they think, then we can start communicating with them in a way that makes sense to them. That's what this whole thing is all about. It's about breaking everything down into plain language communication, not using these crazy, awkward scripts that never sound natural.
Yeah.
Just speaking to patients like person to person, knee to knee, eye to eye. That's how the magic happens. And when we start talking about problems and conditions and how they develop, then patients become a whole lot more likely to accept our treatment recommendations because, like I always say, no one wants dentistry. I mean, not even
Yeah.
a dentist wants dentistry.
Right.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants dental work. But here's what they do want. They want a solution to the problems that they know that they have.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then shouldn't we get really good at presenting problems and conditions?
Yeah.
We don't really have to worry about presenting treatment as much because if we present the problems and conditions in a meaningful, impactful way, then they're going to want those problems to go away. They're going to look to us for the solution. But if we don't do that and we just start saying, you need this, you need that, they're not going to recognize
And
the
that's the
rationale behind it.
unintentionally condescending part. Now, what I'm excited for
Yep.
you to share, we're from the same generation. There used to be no Zoom. There used to be no podcast. You want to learn something, you got to get on a train and show up in person. And I
Yep.
think there's so much value to in-person learning. We're going to talk about that second. But, for the first time, you have made your amazing teaching accessible to all through the power of watching it on a screen. And that could be on your phone, on your iPad, on your TV. So tell us, you're a Nacho sponsor now. We're going to have a Nacho deal for our audience, but what are they going to be able to do where they're able to learn from you now, not only just in person, we'll talk about at the end, but your on-demand learning?
Yeah. So my Getting Yes Masterclass has been in operation for about 11 years as a live course. It's a 2-day course for the entire dental team. The dental team and the doctors all need to be on the same page. It's not just for doctors. It won't work as well unless everyone's involved.
Yeah.
So I actually resisted doing this online because I understand the value of live training. But about a year ago, I recorded one of my live courses in Chicago. Actually had it professionally videotaped and video recorded by a professional videographer who I've known for quite a while. He's excellent. And what we did was we broke this down into over 60 bite-sized videos. So it's
Awesome.
over 12 hours of content. The videos are between 5 and 10 minutes long. So if you want to consume it an hour at a time, it's fine. If you want to do half day or full day, you can do that as well. It's very well organized. All the other materials in the course are included. They're all downloadable, and it's on a very easy online platform called Kajabi, where
Cool.
they house a lot of online courses. So the entire online course is available now. It's been available now for a few weeks, and the initial feedback on it's been great.
Awesome. And I want to share with my audience, if you're watching in on this, you can text yes to 215-543-6454. Text yes to 215-543-6454. My grandmother was right, Chris. I am very special, but because of me, through Dental Nachos, do they get a discount through the Nacho community? Are there value add? Tell our audience what they get for going through Dental Nachos.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, for the next couple of weeks, actually the next 10 days, Nachos members can get the largest discount that I'm ever going to offer on this course. And it's just because I just launched it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually offering a $1,500 savings
Awesome.
off of the regular tuition for Getting Yes Masterclass online. So the regular fee for this is $49.90. Or if you decide that you want to make 3 payments, you can do that too. So, for about the cost of an implant, an abutment, and a crown,
Yeah.
you can learn the skills to add more new patients to your practice, make their experience better, get yes all day long for whatever you're looking to get yes for, build your practice, grow your revenues, reviews, referrals, all those things on a consistent basis.
Awesome.
Yeah, so $1,500 off until September 15th.
Nice. Well, take advantage of that, Nacho community. So you have this online opportunity so people can access it literally anywhere and at any time. And the and portion to this, because I just did my own boost camp and that was online, Chris, but we also have an in-person component.
Yep.
Tell us about the in-person component for dentists who want to bring their team to see you. Where do you do these courses and how can they find out about them?
Sure. There's actually two different options for the in-person training. For doctors that have either large practices or doctors that want me to come to them, I have some availability to come to you. That's what I call an on-location course, where I will literally come to your town, your city,
Awesome.
your practice. I've even had doctors combine forces from different practices and join together and have me come to them and do a very small private course. The exact same content is also taught in what I call a destination course, which means I'll choose a large city. I've got 4 courses coming up in Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, San Diego, and Dallas. And in that case, a doctor would bring their entire practice to that location. You know, some doctors like to travel with their team once a year or so, and they'll bring their practice to that location. There will have anywhere from 4 to 7 or 8 practices together. And that live venue where you've got multiple practices, all with the same general goals, it's really cool to see the
Nice.
energy in the room and to see things come together.
I love that. And if someone wanted to find out about this who's listening, I know they can reach out to you personally. What's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, without question, the best way to reach me and get the fastest response is to text me personally. And I'm happy to give out my mobile phone number, which is 704-968-2002, 704-968-2002. If you text me and just indicate that you're interested in either the live version of the course or the online version, I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you being a Nacho sponsor. Love collaborating with you as a friend, as a fellow dentist, making this world more fun, because when you communicate, when you communicate better, you wind up having more fun in your office, doing more of the procedures you want to do. Thank you so much, Chris, for supporting us.
Absolutely, Paul. Thanks for having me.